Welcome back to episode 8, I believe we are on now, of the GBGuns Armory, looking back through some stuff that was reviewed in the past and adding some thoughts to it, as well as reminding us that not everything has to be what came out in the last 3 months. There's a lot of great firearms out there, reviewed hundreds of them. Some more great than others, or less great than others, I guess you could say. Today we're looking at the Sarsilmaz ST9. Now, depending on how long you've been with GBGuns, you might have to dig back a while to find the reviews on these. Don't worry, I'll try to make them a card. This was an interesting piece. I got mine back when TR Imports in Fort Worth, Texas was importing these, long before SAR USA. Give you guys a closer look at this thing. A lot of folks have said that it's very HK-like. We've got paddle mag release, we've got ambidextrous controls, got a safety, it's striker fired, and we have a multi-tier recoil assembly in it. And it came with these smoke semi-translucent magazines. Interchangeable back straps, adjustable target sight, a lot of features packed into this thing, but it is big and heavy for what it is. I mean, essentially it's your 4-inch 15-round 9mm competing against the very crowded segment. I think it's probably 4 1/4 inch maybe, so strike that. But it's competing against a lot of other guns that are much lighter and smaller. The recoil assembly on this thing is super stiff. I had issues with it in the early days of What's for Dinner testing. Did not like a lot of ammo loads. That might have been limp wristing, but with as stiff as this spring is, after handling the couple hundred handguns I have since reviewing this, I'd say it's probably the gun. The other thing is, it came with 2 of these magazines, one of which is no good. The polymer feed lips just don't hold rounds when there's any spring pressure in there. Kind of comes apart. I believe this is still being imported. It's an odd gun. I think it's a gun that could use a 2.0 or an update, if you will, because there's a lot of great potential, but a lot of stuff just wasn't done right. One thing that was, however, was this trigger. We've got a lot of take up, but very crisp break. Reset, moderate. It is a pre-cocked or semi-pre-cocked striker, as you can see by a little red indicator window there. So there's potential in this thing. It just wasn't quite there. And the problem with, I think, a lot of these imports, TR Imports, of course, is a much smaller business than big old giant SAR USA, backed by Sarsilmaz themselves. But they just kind of get imported with no supporting narrative, is a word I like to use. No description, no here's why this exists. It's just like, we have these, we're selling them, buy one. And as a result, no one really knows where to put it, where to place it. I think this could be a duty style gun, like something carried outside the waistband for security or law enforcement type thing. But even, look how shallow that pick rail is. It's a pick rail, but it's just barely there, to the point that makes you wonder if it's really going to hold anything. I never tested it, because accessories are usually not my main thing, but this is one of those guns that just wasn't quite there. It's like they were trying to check boxes, but no shooter actually shot it. There are a lot of other companies, bigger brands, come to mind for putting out stuff like that, where it's just like, why does this exist, or why is it not finished yet? I'm curious to hear from you guys what your thoughts are on that, or if you can think of any other guns that just kind of exist, but why? Even, like, so it's got an ambi slide release, right? And if you watch, this side is good and stiff while the slide is closed. I can't move it at all. However, the ambi side, there's a lot of play in it. In fact, let's see, did they Remington this one? Okay, I was able to lock using the left side and release. It just has some play and slop in it. That's not a functional issue, but there are several other functional issues with this thing, and I was so excited when I got it. I really, really wanted to like it. But between the mags, the overstiff recoil spring, that might have changed on later models. If you guys have something newer than this, I'm looking for a date code. I want to say it was like 2016, maybe 2017 that I reviewed this. 2016. So 7 years. That's a lot of time for things to be fixed. But this was the era when a lot of Turkish guns being sprung for 124 NATO ended up choking on a lot of American ammo. If enough of you guys want, I can take this out and give it a try again. I'd love to try to get a more updated one from SAR USA, but I don't think that's going to happen because they don't seem to really care about people knowing about their products too much, and they change their marketing team like every 3 or 4 months, so it's really hard for me to maintain any contact over there. The ST9 could have been a great gun, but at least from this one, I think it was just a little shy. It's kind of like the Smith & Wesson CSX in that somebody started off with a great idea and then ran with it, and no one stopped to check on little things to see if like the mags work or there's going to be any other mechanical issues. Kind of a bummer. I'm also curious if you guys have ever bought something that you later were like, man, this could have been but isn't quite. I know I've got a few of them in this room, and we'll eventually be getting through those. So let me know your thoughts. Sarsilmaz ST9 from the GBGuns Armory. Thanks for watching.